Welcome back to Brushnomics, everybody. Joining us now is Paul Kocharhook, owner of Pathway Design and Construction. And Paul is also an American Lung Association Master Home Environmentalist Volunteer. And his company, Pathway Design and Construction, focuses on environmentally friendly building. Paul, how are you?
I'm great.
Awesome. Well, the last time it was you were here, it was your son's birthday. Did you guys end up having a fun birthday celebration that night?
We did. In fact, he actually missed the birthday wish.
He did?
He did, but my wife and daughter heard it. He decided to run to the bathroom during... So he totally missed it.
We played the Beatles Happy Birthday song and everything.
Yeah, but he did see it on the internet. So,
okay, yeah. Perfect. Well, good. That's exciting. Well, today we're here to talk about something that most people might not know a lot about. So it's a good thing we're talking about it. And whether you're purchasing a new home or remodeling an existing home, something that people don't typically think about that you wanted to bring up was electromagnetic fields and radio frequency, EMF and RF. And I think the first thing is to tell people what we're actually talking about here.
Sure. So when we're talking about like green construction in general, right, we're talking about trying to create a home that's good for the environment and good for the occupants of the home.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we need to take into account. So when we talk about electromagnetic frequency, EMF, it's probably I should give you a definition of kind of what that is, right? So it's an invisible zone of energy that surrounds electrical devices and wiring. This is kind of technical here for a little bit, but
we're listening.
So basically, we're talking about an electric field and a magnetic field. The electric field is created by voltage, which determines how much force of electricity is pushed through wires. So we're talking about electronic devices, TVs, those types of things, and
internet, refrigerator.
Yeah, computers, and pushing the power in through those, and then the magnetic part of that is created by the current. So that's the amount of electricity that's being pushed. So a computer might suck more energy than say a current flat screen TV. But an older TV is going to suck more current because they're just more energy efficient now. Okay. So we're talking traveling this electricity traveling through these items. So if we're talking on the electro side, it's a little bit easier to those things can be
managed.
How do I say
better?
it? Managed better. They're able to be.
It's like, okay, take this out, move this more, get something more efficient.
Exactly, but on the magnetic side, it's more. It's difficult to contain. Okay. You can't necessarily build a barrier because of it. Things can be manufactured into the devices to help with it, but they travel long distances.
And are we talking about how this affects our actual person?
How it affects our bodies. Okay. Yeah, definitely. And especially, one of the focuses of our company is children. Yeah. And really trying to promote the health of the family. So this is extremely important for women that are pregnant. And then kids that are under the age of 6. And we've kind of talked before that at age 6, is when a child kind of gets that's when their blood-brain barrier becomes more defined. Right. And so if anything younger than that, basically whatever were chemicals in the air or whatever
thrown at them, they're
just taking it in, and there's nothing filtering it. Yeah. So this kind of goes the same with this.
And then is radio frequency included in that, or is that separate?
Well, yeah, it is. It isn't. For now, let's just say it's included in that.
In all that.
Yeah.
Go to your website or call for more information. So I understand. I'm kind of getting a good picture of kind of how this all works, but I'm not seeing how it would affect remodeling or building a home. So talk to us about that.
Yeah. So if you're looking for, say, a home, or you're looking to purchase a new home, or you're looking at your home, Eric and I were talking before before the show started, that he had a client recently who had all these things that she was looking for, basically for the health of her child. She didn't want to be near power lines. And that was kind of a big thing for her, because there's been studies in the past that have said, power lines can affect our children, and
especially if they're right over the house.
Yeah, exactly, and especially the big towers that are just carrying all this electricity. So you want to make sure that you're a safe distance away from those. So that's important because that has just mass amounts of magnetic.
Well, yeah, think about all that on top of what's inside your home. Can't be good.
Right. And yeah, exactly. And that's kind of where this was all leading now. So as we start to get more dependent on all the electronics in our home, whether it be the TV, the DVD player, the TiVo, the computer, the iPad, the cell phone. So much stuff. Yeah, our microwaves. We have all this electronic equipment that's continuously on in the house, and so we're kind of surrounding ourselves, and as we think how much time we're now trying to spend in our homes. It's just we're spending more and more time, or even our offices as well. I recently, 2 years ago, we had somebody come into our office and do a test. They can come into your house or your home and do. They have this little gizmo that goes in, and
it's kind of like Ghostbusters stuff. Ben said he had someone do that in his home, and it was really weird. But they were like right next to the bed. It was like the lights went off, and they're like, "Well, you have a sleep number here, your cell phone charger, your cordless phone hooked up, and your TV there, and this is like danger zone."
Yeah, exactly. And I found the same in my office. I had the electrical panel for the office was right below my office. I had 3 computers inside my office, and my office was like the worst office in the entire office.
You're the boss. That's not supposed to be that way.
Supposed to, exactly. It should be somebody else, right? But
don't tell.
I found that once I kind of got that stuff away from me, and we moved into a new office, it made a difference in how I was able to function.
Really?
During the day, and just being able to kind of shut myself off and being able to focus more.
Yeah, and these are, when you talk about the way your body functions and how it affects your body, you've talked to us before about the effects. They're not hugely noticed, are they?
No,
when it's happening?
Not at all. It's little things. It's just, it's just kind of hitting you.
Yeah.
And we think of your body as a system, right? In our body, we have our spinal cord and our brain, and they're firing off electrodes basically to tell our body to function. And when we have these outside forces that are acting on what we already have internally, that's where things are getting crossed, and it's scientists are finding that it's starting to affect the DNA chain.
Really?
And making slight modifications, and there's potential links to cancer and, modifications to the melatonin in our body. And the melatonin is really important because that is like it helps filter and de-stress the body.
Okay.
And also it acts like ibuprofen, essentially like a natural ibuprofen.
I did not know that.
For the body.
I like melatonin even more.
Super important.
Interesting. So, all of this definitely makes a case for paying more attention to this when remodeling or building a home. Obviously, when you're kind of building, you get to you get to design where everything goes.
Right.
But is that kind of what you're talking about in terms of, thinking about this when you're building or remodeling a home, moving centers of like where a electrical panel is or where all your wiring is and keeping it away from everybody and containing it?
Yeah. Think about like in Seattle, we have a lot of basements, right? And so people will put potentially a bedroom in a basement where the electrical panel is. Probably not the best location for a bedroom, but if that's the location of it, then how does that work in the design plan now for the house? So where do we maybe put a wall to keep the bed, say, so your head isn't directly underneath the electrical panel?
Okay.
So a lot of pre-planning. We're doing a remodel out in Carnation right now where we're doing a design, and we're creating basically a server room for the homeowner. So
everything's down there.
Everything's in one location.
Okay. What are just maybe a few more examples of how you design or redesign homes to contain this sort of issue? Because you said walls, you said the server room.
Yeah, like I said, with the magnetic frequencies, it's really hard to try to confine them because they'll travel basically through anything. But looking at trying to maybe minimize some of the things, we're doing a lot more now. Wireless modems, right? They're really popular, and they're super easy to use, but I'm finding that some of our clients are not wanting to use wireless in their homes, so we're going back to hardwiring everything just to keep some of that down. One of the other things we're doing is putting hard shutoff switches in, so if a homeowner has, say, a bay where they have all their electrical devices. If they can just flip a switch and it basically turns everything off. I don't know if you're familiar with smart strips.
No.
So they're basically, it's a power strip, right? So you can plug your TV, your DVD player, everything into it, and everything turns off except for the main controller. So in the case of, say, your entertainment center, your TV would be your main controller. So when you turn your TV on, this smart power strip says, oh, there's power to that. I'm going to apply power to the Wii, the Xbox, the DVD player.
Your kids like to play games, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of it reduces the amount of the EMF that's in the house at any given point in time. It might be a little bit.
It.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. Well, I'm really glad to hear about all that, but, I think people might not understand or know that they might have a problem with too much of this EMF or radio frequency in their homes. Is there somewhere they can go to get more information, or someone they can call to do a test, or come in and see if they have, if like the electrical panel's in the wrong place, the refrigerator shouldn't be on this wall, things like that?
Yeah, a good place to start is just looking at the internet.
Okay.
And trying to see if you can find somebody. If they're not, I do have access to...
You can give them referrals?
Contacts to, to referrals for somebody who can come in and do it. Same guy who did, like, my office for me.
Great. Well, to learn more from Paul and who he might recommend, you can find him at facebook.com/Brassionomics. I have a link to his website there. But thanks so much for joining us. I'm going to go home and check out where all the electrics, the panel boxes and everything are in my house right after this. All right, that was Paul Kocharhook. When we come back, we're going to talk to Dana Peterson from Cobalt Mortgage. You're listening to Brassionomics. This is Heather Moore. We'll be right back.